Hey, what is going on guys, it's Carlos and today we're taking a look at Samsung's first attempt of a smartwatch, the Galaxy Gear. So the Gear was released back in late September of 2013 and you were able to purchase it as a bundle with the Note 3 or by itself for almost $300. But it's 2014 and it has had a price drop over the couple of months since its release date, and you're easily able to pick one up for $150 or less. And it also received an update that removed Android, the OS that it shipped with, and updated it to Tizen. So I had this smartwatch for a whole month now and here's the review of it. So the Galaxy Gear has an attractive looking design. The first thing we noticed is that 1.6 inch Super AMOLED display with a 320 by 320 resolution packing a 275 ppi. The screen is not horrible at all or small, it's actually really perfect. Text is nice and crisp and viewing it outside was not an issue either. Samsung actually has a built-in outside mode on this watch which increases the brightness of the screen so you're able to see the screen outside in the wilderness when the sun is shining right on it. Now the area that is around the screen is actually real metal, so it's an actual premium device for once. Samsung didn't use plastic on this, thank you Sammy. And on the side of the Gear there's only one dedicated button, which is a power button. So if you single tap it, it will just turn on and off the display, and you can also program it to do a double press, that is what Samsung is calling it, and it lets you open up a specific app by just pressing it 2 times really fast. Now the bands of the Gear are made of rubber and they're not removable at all, and here's why. There's actually a cable running down from the watch that is connected to the camera, and it goes down to this pretty big microphone here on the bottom. By the looks of it, it may look like it's uncomfortable to wear, but it's not. Actually, it sits on my wrist really good and it doesn't feel heavy at all. I wore this watch an entire day and didn't have any problems considering I fell asleep with it too. It was super comfortable to wear. I just did wish you could change the rubber band though to something with a bit more leather. My other concern was this giant microphone on the bottom that I mentioned earlier. Every time I got on my computer and tried to type or even just lay my wrist on the table, it would tap the table and it would get really annoying. I couldn't even stand it. I felt like I was leaving scratch marks on my desk. Now on the back of the watch there are some pins that are used to charge the watch with a dock that it comes with. So every night that you go to charge your Gear, you got to wrap this dock around it and then plug it into the micro USB cable. It might be a little bit of a hassle for some people, but you'll get used to it. And you can also pair your device with the Gear using this dock through NFC. Just tap your phone on the back of the dock and it will do the rest for you. Now the Gear can only be paired with Samsung devices. I know this is the biggest letdown they have done. I don't even know what to say to Samsung about this. And for those wondering if this watch is fully waterproof, it's not. Another big disappointment, it's just splash proof. Only a couple of drops of water are really recommended on this watch to be dropped on, so I wouldn't recommend taking a swim with this watch on. Or now jumping onto the specs of this watch, it's running on an 800 MHz single core CPU with 512 MB of RAM and a 4 GB internal storage and a 1.9 megapixel camera that is capable of shooting 720p video. Now the picture that this watch takes are actually pretty decent, but you will kind of look a bit weird in public taking pictures with this watch, right? People will probably think you're a super secret agent from the Justice League when you hold up your watch to snap a quick photo. Now on the video side of things, this watch takes 15-second videos in 720p and the microphone quality is supreme. This is probably due to the fact that the Gear was meant to take phone calls, so Samsung had to pop in a good sounding microphone. And the video quality again is decent. It's actually not bad, as you can see from this footage. It's very passable for a watch. Now when I received the Gear, its main OS was still Android, but after 2 days with it, Samsung released an update that updated this watch to Tizen, completely removing Android out of the picture. So the big major improvements it received were performance tweaks and a better battery life. The Gear is more than capable of lasting you throughout the whole day with regular usage. You might even be able to get 2 days with it unless you're really using it every minute. Expect a day of usage then. Now, there are various different things that you can do with a smartwatch. Probably the most useful feature is checking the time, right? Yeah, I know, of course. All you have to do is just bring the watch up to you and it will automatically turn itself on and show you the time. And Samsung has given you the ability to change the way the clock is displayed. You can make it show you the time and weather, your schedule, the steps you've taken throughout your whole day, and you can also change the font and color of the text. Now the next big thing for a smartwatch is notifications. So let's just say you get a text message or an email on your phone. Well, it will also ring on your Galaxy Gear, and it's super easy to notice a small vibration or notification sound on your wrist instead of your phone that's inside your pocket, or for you ladies, in your purse. From there, you're able to open up and read that notification. Sadly, you can't reply to emails, only to text messages using the default text messaging app. So if you use Hangouts, you're out of luck. You have to switch back to that default texting app, and the only way to reply to a text is either through a S-Voice or a custom template that you created, or taking out your phone and replying back. Now another feature is S-Voice on this Galaxy Gear. Now S-Voice, well, it will always be S-Voice, and we know how that turns out. So you're able to use S-Voice to say commands like call people, send a text message, or create a reminder. It's actually very useful when it works sometimes, but like I said, it's S-Voice. How about giving us Google Now, Samsung? Now something that I did enjoy using was the media controller. This lets you control the volume and media playback on your YouTube videos, music, basically anything that is media can be controlled through here. So no more reaching into your phone just to change the song, you can do this straight from the Gear. Then you have things like voice memos, the contacts apps, and a dialer to call people from the Gear. And I was actually quite surprised on how well the microphone and speaker is from the Gear. It sounds really crisp and there's no delay when talking to people using the Gear. My only complaint is you kind of look a bit weird talking to people using the Gear for some reason. I felt very uncomfortable doing this in public. Now there's also a control setting that lets you put up the volume of the watch and increase the brightness. And last but not least, you have a pedometer, which counts the steps you take throughout the whole day and lets you set up your own goal of steps to take each day. Well, it works like it's supposed to, but if you're sitting down and you just swing your arm, that's counted as a step, or even just wave your hand, it's counted as a step. So it's really not that accurate. At work, I got on top of the tractor, drove for 5 minutes, and it said that I took well over 10,000 steps. So really, this pretty much says it's not that accurate at all, right? Now, when you first pair your phone with the Gear, you're prompted to download the Gear Manager, and here's where you do all 99.9% of your tweaking to it. From here, you can change the background of the watch to something different or upload your own custom image to it from your phone. And you can also change the watch faces, but there isn't a huge selection to choose from, but at least you're not stuck with the same boring watch face all the time. Then you're able to see the apps that you have installed on your watch, and you can change the settings on them. There isn't too much to tinker here since only some default apps have setting menus. You can also see your fitness goals you can see how many steps you're taking throughout the day with the pedometer, your sleep levels, and how much you exercise. You can tell I exercise a lot, right? Then you can also change what notifications you get on your watch. You can select what apps you want to be notified from. I just checked my regular social network and messaging apps so I could be notified from my wrist, so it makes a little ringtone every time you get a notification. Now, in order to download apps to your Gear, you have to create a Samsung account. Now, once you access the App Store, there isn't a big selection to choose from. The App Store is pretty much dead on here. There isn't any interesting app besides the watch faces that you could choose from, but that's pretty much it. The App Store is just packed with watch faces. And the next thing you can do is locate your Gear if you happen to misplace it. Just hit locate my Gear and your Gear will start ringing so you can find it. And when you find it, you can just slide or just stop it from your phone so it can stop ringing. Now, the Galaxy Gear is a very decent device to actually pick up and use as your first smartwatch. I love the fact of just looking at my notifications and just being able to see the emails I get or text messages right from my wrist. And if I want to reply back to them, I just take out my phone and reply back. The specs pretty much don't need any improving on since the watch is buttery smooth already, ever since receiving that Tizen update. But with the new introduction of Android Wear in the market, the Gear looks like it's probably dead, but I really hope it's not. Since Samsung was easily able to update the Gear to Tizen, I'm pretty sure they will update it to Android Wear too. And if they do update, this will be a killer watch in the market, especially at its current price. And the other annoying thing of the Gear before I end this review is that it only works with Samsung devices. I know, I already said this, I'm just disappointed that it only works with Samsung devices. I'm still trying to figure out what Samsung was thinking with this. Now, 2014 is the year of the smartwatches and is going to take off. Hopefully Samsung doesn't forget about the Gear and their Gear 2 and their Gear Neo and update them to Android Wear. But even with Tizen, it's already an amazing watch. It just needs a bit more apps to use, and Samsung needs to make the Gear compatible with all smartphones, right? Anyway guys, this pretty much wraps up my review of the Gear. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I want to know your thoughts on smartwatches. Will you use them every day, or will they just die off in a couple months? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.